Hello and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hafizi bin Adnan. Now, I will start with project overview for this video presentation. This project examines how financial habits differ across three generations, which is parents, grandparents, and young adults. Although all generations value savings, their approach vary depending on circumstances and available resources, which is older generation rely on cash and gold for security. For parents, turn to banks and loan for stability, while young adults embrace digital finance for convenience and speed. The findings suggest that blending traditional discipline with modern financial tools is important as it allows individuals to balance security, flexibility, and adaptability in today's changing financial landscape.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Idham bin Ahmad Zulfakar. For this slide, I will explain about project description. Our project title is Family Financial Story Intergenerational Insight, which is to explore financial habit among different ages. This project aims to understand how groups of people with different age control their personal financial. The reason for this topic is to learn about how our family make their financial decision and how with their decision can help us managing our money wisely. With today increased cost of living, this project can give us some benefit from their financial control. The method we use to gain data from our family members is by making a Google form for them to answer. Each group members must ask at least two of their family to answer this Google form for us to gain the data. For this slide, I will explain the objective and the outcome of this project. The objective of this project is to explore financial habits across different generations. For example, like saving, budgeting, investment, and money spending. Other than that, to find a similarity and differences between the younger and older generation on how they make their decision making related to their personal financial. Next is to increase self-awareness among students by reflecting on how their families members practice their financial. For the outcome of this project, we not only reflect on our family members' financial attitude, we also apply their method to our own personal financial planning for more improvement. Next, this project shows that financial struggle is always happen among us in daily life and we need to find a solution to overcome this financial issue.
The project timeline was divided into 6 weeks to ensure the work was systematic and manageable. In the early week, tasks such as preparing interview questions and conducting interviews were prioritized to gather reliable data. In the middle weeks, focused on compiling findings and carrying out thematic analysis, which was important to produce meaningful insight. And on the final weeks were dedicated to drafting the report, designing visual, and preparing a video presentation, ensuring the project was complete in a well-organized and professional manners.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mirza Hakimi bin Elmi. So, on this slide, we would like to highlight the contribution of each group member. To ensure fairness, we divided the Google Form survey into the 5 sections, which is background, saving and budgeting, investment, financial challenges, and advice and lesson learned. Each member was responsible for analyze one section in details. Besides that, we also work together to prepare other parts of the report, such as the project overview, project descriptions, objective, and project timeline, project documentations, and conclusion. Everyone contribute equally, not only in analyzing data, but also in preparing the slides, compiling the report, and reviewing the final outcome. For project documentations, we have included several pieces of evidence of our work process. This includes the design of our Google form, screenshot of the responses collected, and record of our group discussions. The flow of our project started from brainstorming questions, distributing the survey, analyzing the results, and finally preparing this report and presentations. We also documented each member's contributions to ensure transparency in teamwork. In addition, visuals such as charts were created to clearly present the data collected.
So, for section A of the survey collects respondents' background information such as age, gender, education level, and occupation. This part is important because it helps us understand the financial habits and challenges in relation to different demographic groups. For example, we can compare how younger and older participants manage saving or whether education level influences investment decision. So firstly, name. So these are all the respondents' name which are from our family group members and all of them are total 10 respondents. Next, gender. Gender of each respondents. As you can see, the percentage of male are more than female, which is 60% of the respondents are male and the others 40% are female. Other than that, their age. There are 70% of the respondents are between 21 to 35 years old and 20% are above 55 years old and 10% of for respondents aged between 36 to 55 years old. For the marital status, it only have two choices which are single and married and the percentage of respondents that are single and married is equal 50% each. Okay, lastly, for section A, we also ask about their occupation and most of the respondents are self-employed and student, which is 30% each. And the others are respondents that work with private sector and retired, which is 20% of each sector.
From the responses collected, most people prefer to save their money in the bank, which is 70%, and through the gold or property, which is 60%. Some still keep saving in the cash at home, which is 40%, while only a small portion use e-wallets, which is 10%. Interestingly, none of the respondents reported not saving at all, which means everyone practices some form of saving. This shows a strong financial awareness, especially in securing money through the bank and long-term asset. However, the low use of digital options like e-wallets suggests that some may be less exposed to the modern financial tools, which could be improved in the future. When it comes to budgeting, the responses are evenly split, which is 50% of respondents planning their budget carefully and another 50% only budgeting sometimes depending on the situation. None reported spending without a budget, which show that financial awareness is present. However, the result also indicate that not everyone practices budgeting consistently and discipline remain a challenge. This finding highlight the importance of building stronger budgeting habits as consistent financial planning is essential to avoid overspending and ensure stability in the long term. Next, for the biggest monthly expenses, the data show that the largest financial burden is a loan repayment, which is 50% of respondents choosing this option. This is followed by the food and groceries at 30%, while children educations and entertainment or shopping both account for 10% each. Interestingly, none of the respondents reported saving or investment as their main monthly expenses. This finding reflects how essential commitment dominate household finances, leaving little room for wealth accumulations. The lesson learned is that better financial planning and debt management are crucial to ensure saving and investment are not neglected.
The findings show that most respondents invest in gold, which is 60%, and stock like ASB or unit trust, 40%. Gold is a popular choice because it is considered a safe haven asset that maintains value during inflation or economic uncertainty. Investment in stock or unit trusts are also common as they offer potential long-term growth and are relatively accessible in Malaysia. Only 10% invest in property, which may be due to the high capital required and long-term commitment involved. Interestingly, none of the respondents choose crypto or digital investment, possibly because it is viewed as too volatile and risky, or due to limited knowledge and trust in digital assets. Meanwhile, 20% have never invested, which could reflect lack of financial literacy, limited disposable income, or preference for saving rather than investment. Most respondents invest mainly for future saving, which is 40%, and retirement planning, 30%, reflecting the importance of securing long-term financial stability and preparing for life after retirement. Around 20% invest for their children's education, showing the desire to provide better opportunities and reduce future financial burdens. Meanwhile, 10% are unsure of their purpose, which may indicate a lack of financial knowledge or clear planning. Interestingly, none of the respondents aim to get rich quickly, suggesting that most prefer safer and more realistic investment goals over high-risk ventures. Most respondents invest mainly for future saving, which is 40%, and retirement planning, 30%, reflecting the importance of securing long-term financial stability and preparing for life after retirement. Around 20% invest for their children's education, showing the desire to provide better opportunities and reduce future financial burdens. Meanwhile, 10% are unsure of their purpose, which may indicate a lack of financial knowledge or clear planning. Interestingly, none of the respondents aim to get rich quickly, suggesting that most prefer safer and more realistic investment goals over high-risk ventures.
So hi, I am Akila bin Wahab. So let's take a look at the survey result for the section D, and we asked 10 respondents about their main financial challenge right now. So the number one issue by far is the high cost of living. In fact, half of the respondents, which is 50% of them, say this was their biggest struggle. Things like higher food price, transportation costs, and daily necessity are really stretching their budgets. Next, we see that 20% of them struggle with low income and another 20% don't have emergency saving. This shows that not only people are earning less, but they also don't have a financial buffer to rely on if something unexpected things happens. Finally, 10% of the respondents pointed to debt as their main challenge. So compared to daily expenses, debt is not seen as the biggest problem right now. Overall, the key takeaway here is that people are more worried about keeping up with everyday costs and building saving rather than paying off for the long-term loans. Next, the respondents are struggling with these two categories to control their expenses, which is food and lifestyle at 30%, and entertainment and shopping at another 30%. So together that makes 60% of respondents struggling with discretionary spending. This tells that most financial pressures come from daily habits and personal choice, such as eating out and also buying non-essential. Next, another 20% mentioned debt repayment and another 20% pointed to education or children expenses. These are important commitments, but fewer respondents find them difficult compared to lifestyle and entertainment spending. So in conclusion, the results suggest that financial challenges are driven more by behavioral spending patterns rather than fixed obligation. This means that by improving budgeting and exercising more control over food, lifestyle, and leisure expenses, individual could reduce a large portion of their financial stress. So, for the last part of this survey, for the section D, most respondents show that they prefer proactive strategies to handle financial challenges. The top two approaches, each chosen by 17%, were prioritizing, saving, and spending wisely and looking for additional income. This shows they rely on budgeting and discipline, while also being open to side income or extra work. And on another hand, only 10% choose borrowing as a solution, which means very few depend on debt or external help. And overall, this result suggests that these respondents value self-sufficiency and disciplined money management, focusing more on controlling expenses and growing income rather than taking loans.
For this slide, I will explain the advice and lesson given by our respondent based on the graph we get. Based on the lesson learned data, most of the respondents say that do not be wasteful, with 40% answer from the respondent, making it the most important lesson by avoiding spending money on unnecessary things. The lesson graph show that respondents avoid being wasteful and focus on investment for the future. For the advice, based on the graph we get from the respondents, the top advice for the younger generation is to manage their money wisely with 70% follow up by saving money early with 50% answers. The advice encourages the younger generation to start saving money and stop falling into debt.
So, to build a secure financial future, I would like to suggest to create a phases plan. The phases plan would be divided by three phases, which is short term, medium term, and also long term. So for the short term, it will be for 6 months. So you can build a foundation by tracking all your expenses with apps and building a small emergency fund for unexpected costs. Next, for the medium term, you can limit unnecessary spending and learn about personal finances through workshop to make smarter money decisions. And for the long term, you can focus to shift. You can shift to growing wealth with an investment plan and securing your future with a solid retirement plan, such as EPF and also SOCSO. And another future improvement you can make is incorporate green and sustainable, which is this means making purchasing decisions that consider environmental and social impact. It involves supporting ethical companies such as reduce waste. For the example, buying quality items that last longer, and also investing in sustainable options such as green energy. This approach often leads to more mindful consumption and can even save money in the long run, in the long term. You also can make a carpool or using a public transportation to save your money, and to cut your costs.
So, for conclusion, the survey shows that while saving is important across generations, older respondents prefer traditional methods while younger ones lean towards digital savings and small investment. Investment interest exists, but confidence and knowledge remain limited, with many avoiding risk. Financial challenges such as debt, emergencies, and limited income are common to all age groups. Overall, older generations emphasize conservative financial habits, while younger ones are more open to growth and diversification.